We all want to protect our hearing, but how do we know when something is too loud? For answers, we're joined by Dr. Gnewikow, and that is a really good question. How do we know when something is too loud?
You remember when you took an afternoon drive on Sunday and you're driving out in the country and all of a sudden all of the lights start flashing on your dash, your oil light comes on, you begin to panic, and you pull off the side of the road and say, this is serious, I've got to get help. You get warning signals, and we pay attention to them. Mm-hmm. But you also may remember when you were a kid and somebody popped a cherry bomb, or a M80 as we used to call them, or maybe your buddy shot a shotgun a little too close to your ear when you were duck hunting, and you went away saying, I can't hear, my ear was ringing, and it would ring and ring and ring, and then finally your hearing began to come back. Well, that ringing, which is what we call tinnitus, is kind of like the lights flashing on your dashboard. You know, the human is a very technical device, and our sensing systems are such that we get warnings. And when you are around a noise that is loud enough that you notice a temporary drop in your hearing, and you begin to hear a noise in your ear, which most of you had at one point in time, that probably means that you've done a little damage already. Mm-hmm. In the inner ear, we've looked at these diagrams before, sound waves hit the eardrum and goes through the little bones to what we call the cochlea. The cochlea is nature's original microphone. It's got little nerve endings called hair cells, and those hair cells are the source of electrical signals to our brain. Loud noise damages the hair cells in the cochlea, and once those cells are damaged, they do not regenerate. And so it's very important that we protect the delicate hair cells in our microphone or our cochlea. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is a part of the federal government, requires hearing protection for people that are exposed to certain levels of noise. And basically what they say is if you're working in a noisy environment around machines that run 85 to 90 decibels, after about 8 hours, if you don't have hearing protection on, you're beginning to damage your ear. Wow. If you're a farmer and you drive a tractor, you can probably get by for about 4 hours. If you're a construction man and you're running a big Caterpillar or a bulldozer, you probably have about an hour without protection. If you're cranking up your chainsaw, you probably only have about a minute. Wow. And if somebody fires a .30-06 or a black powder rifle next to you, you probably have no time, because many times those can cause instantaneous damage to your hearing. Mm-hmm. And so people say, well, I'm only going to shoot this one time. And we see patients that come in regularly that say, well, I wear my earplugs when I'm zeroing in my rifle to go deer hunting. Oh, but when I'm hunting, I don't wear them. But even one shot from a high-powered rifle can do some permanent damage. We use what's called a sound level meter. This is a little device where we can actually measure sound levels. We don't use it a lot, but if you were in a situation where, say you're in a really noisy restaurant and you want to know how loud these levels are, we're able to measure them. The signal comes through the microphone, and because of the algorithms in here, we can determine how many decibels are there. And you can even use a cell phone. It's not as accurate as this, but the cell phone app that you can get on line for probably $1.50 will give you some general idea of sound levels. But as a general rule, if you're in an environment where you have to raise your voice to be understood by the person next to you, you're probably in a level that's too high. So our hearing is very sensitive. We have a very sensitive microphone, and we need to try to protect it. We can't get it back once it's lost.
And Audiology Hearing Aid Associates has 2 area locations to better serve you. Their Lynchburg location is on Langhorne Road. Their number is 434-528-4245. The other location is on Main Street in Danville. Their number there is 434-799-6288. You can also find out more online at digitalhearingforyou.com. And we'll be right back.